The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
My name is James Kaiser.
Commander Negron.
Kevin Hogan.
Hi, I'm Dylan Fix Carter, and this is Kyber Cave.
Watching Kyber Cave.
Kyber Cave.
Kyber Cave.
After Dark.
Aren't they Cthulhu? Yes, they are. Oh, who's a cute little eldritch horror?
Yeah.
Wah! Ah!
You want to
What
play
is
a
up?
game?
You look absolutely amazing, as always.
Thank you. This I just threw it together.
So I always feel showed up, Ezra. I think we need to start wearing costumes and stuff.
You
Again,
paid for them, I'll start wearing them.
Right.
Shoot, I'm so poor I can't even pay attention right now. How's everybody doing this week?
Good. I've actually slept more than 5 hours on the last couple of nights, which is great.
Woo!
I missed that.
I wanted to ask you, did you had your big drag competition that you've been working towards, right?
Yes.
When was that exactly?
Not this last Sunday. It was the Sunday before that.
It was the Sunday before that.
Yes.
Oh, that's right, because we talked about that on last week. We talked about
Yes, we
that.
did. Yes,
So
we
now, that was the one where it was like the next thing is Portland, right?
Yes. And again, it's a big decision. If I go to Portland, I have to make sure I have the right stuff this time. I need help. I need better dresses, better shoes, and better hair.
Right.
Oh, by the way, 3 things I'm not going.
Hello,
I'm not gonna waste
Steve.
my time.
Steve said he can help you out with some of the hair stuff, I think, last week.
He did. He messaged me. Again, it's about. I hate to rely on anybody that's that far away, just because I like to go over somewhere and actually try shit on. But any help that I can get, I will take it. I can't be an island again. It didn't work out that well the last time. So mwah. Hi, Beatrix. How are you? My dog decided to come in. Hello.
And I want to introduce everybody to Age. Scott Age is brand new on our show. Although, if you've watched Saber Rattle, you might recognize Age from an interview we had. How long ago did we do that? Like 3-4 months ago?
Yeah, it was like a couple of months ago. But hey, guys, welcome back, and thanks for having me, guys. It's always good to be here. H got represent Duck Soup. Got my own podcast. Right. Yeah, representing. I'm here. Thanks for having me.
Age does his own podcast called Duck Soup.
Yes.
In fact, John Michael and Jeff Giuliano have both been on that podcast as well. He is a comic book writer as well as an artist, and he does music as well. So this man's all over the place when it comes to arts.
Trying to be creative.
Multi-talented. Hello.
Appreciate that. Thank you. It's always good to be amongst good guys and hang out with you guys, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm a lady. No, I'm kidding.
It's all love, man.
With you, Age, what's new with you?
All right, so I'm also a teacher assistant in the middle school, so I have 45 days of school. No, like 35 days of school left. Not that I'm counting.
Not that you're counting.
Not that I'm counting. Working on I have an animated short on YouTube called The Age Page. 2-minute animated shorts that I put together. Please check it out, The Age Page. And I also put music together for my friends. Me and my homegirl put out the Yellow Tape. I made some beats and she sings. So it's really cool. So check it out on YouTube, The Yellow Tape. Thank you.
Man, you could do your own music for your shorts and stuff like that, for your cartoons. Mm-hmm. You're like the one-man studio.
Kind of, sort of. I'm just trying to get better at it, We're always trying to get better at this content thing,
Right.
But thank you guys for having me, man. It's Moonknight Talk. What we said, Rubik? I'm sorry. What we said, Rubik?
I say, if you ever need a voice actor, by all means, I'd love a bat at that.
Oh man, that sounds dope, man. Hell yeah. Thank you.
For those who want to go and watch Age's interview, it was episode 69 of Saber Rattle.
Yeah.
Episode 69.
69, fitting.
And I want to say, is it this week? Is that coming up this Sunday will be our 2-year anniversary of Saber Rattle? I'm not sure if that's. I know it's very soon. If it's not this Sunday.
Yeah. Let's see. What was our first episode? It was May. No, not May.
We'll have to go back and research that because I think we're coming up on our 2-year. That's crazy. We've been doing shows for 2 years. Just sitting here talking out into random air for 2 years. But we got Steve with us and some other voyeur online. I don't know who else is online right now. What is new with you, Mr. Ezra? Have you had anything exciting happen this week?
Not really. Just new backdrop area. I can't extend my arms anymore, so that kind of sucks.
And it looks like you're in a bathroom. Looks like you're sitting on a toilet producing a show right now. We can't see anything.
I'm in a chair. I swear I'm in a chair, guys.
That's a man that multitasks right there. Ike, what is up? How you doing, my good man?
Ike?
Of course, Ike is a prolific saber collector. He was the winner of our first saber giveaway as well. Steve says that he's just sitting here working on items. Steve is constantly working on cosplay. So if you ever need stuff made, he is definitely one to talk to.
Fix them, Steve.
Yeah. Actually, Steve would be someone that could probably help you with that. Rubik's fingers are falling apart.
They are. I popped them on. It's like this at the first time I've really worn them. They're already falling apart. Go figure. Amazon Prime. Fuck that.
Smack him.
Smack him.
Smack him.
At this point, it doesn't really even matter. I'm just going to break them all and then flick them off. It'll be great.
Well, smack 'em, smack is kind of our theme for the whole night tonight. I think if we could narrow tonight's show down to one word, I think smack would be it.
Funny.
Smack 'em.
Snap out of it.
We should have the frog from the cereal. What was that? The honey smacks or whatever.
Digging smacks.
That should be our mascot for the night.
Oh, he's gonna fly here from me. Oh, thank you.
See, look, you're talking about rounding up a team. You could have Steve be your personal, what do you call, almost like an armorer. Like if anything happens during the show, he can fix it right there.
If he can make me some armor, I would love to be Valkyrie profile. Not gonna lie, just saying. Lennon Valkyrie all the way.
Ike is saying he loves the cosplay. This is. Well, first off, I want to see if anybody in the audience recognizes who this character is. We've got more people jumping online now. Does anybody? I will say, okay, free pair of chopsticks for the first person that can tell who the character that Rubik's is doing right now. We'll see if it pops up in the comment. If not, I got a pair of chopsticks.
Everyone likes games.
Oh. So yeah, so we'll wait and see if any comments pop up there.
So I might be jealous.
So this week, my friends,
I see you. I love you. You're just like the little one from the movie, aren't you? Here.
This week, my friends, we were saying that the smack is kind of our theme. We had the premiere of Moonknight on Wednesday night on Disney Plus. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about what everybody is talking about. Will Smith.
No, Steve, it's not.
We're going to be talking about Will Smith and the Chris Rock incident that happened. Of course, it happens on Sunday, right? So it's like a full 5 days after it happens before we can finally get to the topic. But I think it just gives us a little more perspective on it, right?
April 4th, 2021.
Totally.
April 4th?
I just saw the Batman personally.
Did you? And what did you think?
I did. I finally did.
I did too.
Oh, did you see it, Age?
Age, you're muted.
Age, you're muted.
He's muted. We can't hear you, friend.
I would love to hear their opinions. You hear me now? I would love to hear their opinions on Batman because I haven't seen it yet. I will eventually, but I'm kind of Batmaned out with the way
Save your
DC.
money for when it comes out on HBO.
Thank you.
Oh.
It was good. It was good. Don't get me wrong, but it
was
also
slow.
It was very slow.
Very slow.
There was a point where like my ADHD was just off the charts and I couldn't pay attention to the movie because it was so slow. Like normally during movies, I'm there the entire time. Like I don't even go take bathroom breaks during movies. But
do you?
Batman
Let me ask you a question. Do you think? Oh, and then okay. Well, Rubik's, do you feel that it was slow as well?
I feel like it put the slow burn, where like you could tell it was a choice,
right?
And it was because it was really going more to like the detective story. Like it's hard to say that there weren't aspects of it that reminded me of things like Seven, or even like to Batman stories like The Long Halloween, or other like smaller talking points. Like I did like that it kind of focused again back on the gangster side of it. But at the same time, what I could say definitely, it needed more Penguin. It needed a bit more Selena Kyle. It needed to have more of these characters and less of Batman just walking slowly or moving slowly. Like there's a car chase sequence in the middle that's like the best moment of the entire film, hands down.
Yeah.
And then we get like 30 minutes of waiting for something to happen because it just wants to take its fucking time. Like the big comment I've heard from most critiques of it is that they could cut 20 minutes out of this film, and easily they could. But I will say this. So fun moment. It's right at the end of the car chase. And of course we've seen it in the trailer, you know, Penguin's upside down in his car and Batman's walking up, and Eli leans over and says to me, I've come to talk to you about your extended car warranty.
I did the same thing. I did the same fucking thing.
That needs to be a meme. If it's not already, it needs to be a meme.
I leaned over to Brittany and I was like, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I got smacked in a theater.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. But otherwise, it was good. I actually really liked Robert Pattinson as Batman. I feel like whenever he was Batman, it was solid. Like it felt like the character, like it was him kind of like not acknowledging people or like just being best. At the same time, like he was a bit too much of a tank where like he's not supposed to just be able to take on like a full-on AK-47 from all directions.
I didn't like the fact that his cowl was just pure leather and he got shot in the head and survived.
Like 5 times easily.
Like,
I know.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yes, but
leather's not going to protect you against a bullet. Even Kevlar leather and stuff is not going to protect you against a bullet. That shit is like that fucking thin. It's going to go right through.
Yeah, they didn't give enough credence to that, like, unless they explained that he's got this superhuman technology that can deflect bullets. Like, it's a nitpick thing. It's a nitpick thing. But otherwise, the Batmobile, fucking awesome.
Oh my god, the Batmobile was like the best part of the entire movie.
The best part of the movie. Absolutely.
I've heard people complain, but I will say this is probably my favorite Batmobile.
Yeah.
I feel like it's most, you know, it's kind of more grounded into what a real car would look like if I modified a real car, as opposed to like, you know,
and that's how it comes off as, for sure. Like it's definitely a muscle car. And I wish there was a little bit more with it. I wish there was more Penguin. I feel like he got like a couple of scenes and that was it.
Well, he's actually, you heard he actually, based off this, is getting a spin-off series.
Is it?
Okay. Well, it sets itself up for some additional stuff too. Like it definitely teases something at the end. They couldn't have picked the better actor for the Riddler though. Like as much as his like one speech kind of pained me because I was like, okay, you're reaching a little much. At the same time, like as far as aesthetic, as far as physicality, no, that's exactly what Edward Nygma would look like. But it's not even Edward Nygma. They call him like Edward Nathan or some shit.
Right.
I forget.
Ezra, you didn't like Riddler?
I didn't like Riddler. I didn't like he was all right. Like as an actor, I don't mind the part, but it was more. I feel like he could have done more. The editing of it could have done more. Like you know how like in the Arkham series for the games, like Riddler was glitchy in his stuff. It was echoey with his voice. Like it lagged behind. Like I wish they would have done something like that. Honestly, because
fair point. That's a fair point.
And you know, as much as I'm a comic book fan, and I plan to eventually go see it, but with the fact DC did another Batman movie, it just feels like they just cashed in on what's hot, because they go to their main three characters, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, all the time. While Marvel is bringing up C and B characters and starting up franchises, Moon Knight was a straight C character for a long time.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Well, Marvel is just going through so many characters that they're eventually going to run through their entire roster of things, whether it's popular or not. But what I think is amazing is that Marvel seems to, have a way of taking these characters who are C-list characters or characters that, maybe weren't as popular in the comic books and really giving them a human feel
Fun
to
fact, Steve,
it.
thank you.
What was that?
Edward
He said
Nathan.
Edward Nathan is the real name from the original character name. I did not know that.
Ah,
I didn't know that. That's a fun, subtle nod.
Thank you. Good looking out.
I didn't like his
Usually
mask.
Ezra's the one fact checking us. Shit.
Well, and then even and our theme tonight is Moonknight, so let's get over to that. But a lot of people, actually, it's funny we're talking about Batman because a lot of people, when Moon Knight first came out, there was a lot of comparisons between Batman and Moon Knight. Age, when did Moon Knight first come out? Was that in the 70s? When was the first run of, man, Age is frozen on that like face right there.
Oh, I see it.
Let's see. I don't know if he's got a bad connection. Well, we will ask Age when he gets comes back in. Looks like he's coming back in. There he is. Hey, there you are, Age.
1975.
What was that?
1975.
Thank you, Ezra. 1975. Yeah. So, Say Wong, what is going on, my friend? So at the time when Moon Knight first came out, there was a lot of comparisons between Batman and Moon Knight because of one of Moon Knight's identities being a millionaire with all these gadgets and stuff like that. He had his own Moon Knight plane or Moon Knight jet or whatever, and so why don't we roll that trailer for anybody that has not yet seen Moon Knight or don't know what we're talking about. You got that ready to roll, Ezra?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
I have a sleeping disorder. I can't tell the difference between my waking life and dreams.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
I think I'm losing it.
Real catch you are. You're bloody useless, Stevie.
Stephen. I can't tell the difference between life and dreams.
Thank you.
Lost the contact lens.
Hope you find it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're alive. What's wrong with you, Mark?
Why did you call me Mark? It must be very difficult. The voice in your head. There's chaos in you. Embrace the chaos.
All right, I can see why they compared it to Batman in the last little part where he's jumping over the building.
Because he's got a cape?
No, because if you compare that to a lot of scenes of Batman, it's pretty similar.
I mean, I didn't know so much about was his sleep disorder.
Yeah,
I can relate to that.
Right.
My waking and my dreaming world are sometimes blurred.
You know what's very interesting is when Age and I were watching this today, we were talking about, you know how like a few episodes ago we were talking about, you know, all the cringe on TikTok with the, you know, the fake disorders and stuff like that. And in this show, he has, you know, he has DID. What is that?
Dissociative identity disorder.
Thank you. Yeah, he has DID, and you learn about his character and how he deals with that. So it's really, we were talking about how it's very interesting that, you know, this is a cultural trend, and then boom, they put out Moonknight, which happens to talk about, you know, this kind of a thing, but from a real light.
Has that always been part of the storyline?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, age.
With Moonknight. Okay, with Moonknight, this is Disney's first like effort of doing a comic hero that's based around mental disorder, like sleep deprivation, and Moonknight is really based around a lot of icky stuff. God worshipping, Khonshu's like following him as a tool. So it's really some wicked stuff that Disney's Moonknight is not no joke, based in some really weird stuff, and I'm all for it.
Isn't a lot of it also something to do with like Egyptian?
Yes. Soldier dies at the hand of like some war. Then he falls like at Khonshu's statue. Khonshu gives him the strength to come back, only if he uses him as a tool. And yeah, it's really based around Egyptian lore. Yeah, Ankhs and stuff.
Steve, really quickly, it is not Jack Skellington. More guesses.
I'm actually shocked and slightly offended that no one has guessed this yet. Because you know what I was.
I knew right away.
I knew right away.
I mean, the fucking button eyes should be a dead giveaway.
Button eyes.
Button.
How hard is it to see out of those, by the way?
Actually, it's not that bad.
Because you have 4 big dots, right?
A pair of glasses that has them. The first time I did Other Mother, I just gave it away. Sorry. But the first time I did this character, I had actually taken like sunglass lenses out of the glasses and then like put buttons on them and then tried to glue them to my face. And then that was a terrible decision because glue does not stick to my face. So all throughout the performance, I was just like, let me pop it back. Let me press that back on. Okay. It's not falling up. I'm fine. Like, but otherwise these are pretty
Anthony wins the chopsticks.
There we go. I get the chopsticks. I knew who I was. That's all that matters.
That's so cool, though. Your costume is cool, bro.
Thank you. It's not bad for like throwing a face on in like 40 minutes because I was like, well, I don't know what character to do. I've been saying this one. Just slap it on. Get it on the face. There you go.
Steve, have you never watched Coraline?
Apparently
Clearly.
not. It may not be in his generational compass. Hey, let's get back to Moonknight.
Yes.
Who here has seen Moonknight then? The first episode. Okay. Ezra, what did you think? Okay, Rubik's, you haven't had a chance to see it, so I guess you're going to be listening for a lot of this.
Yes, I'm learning.
Where you can.
The odd man out.
Rubik, shut the fuck up. What?
Funny. That's funny.
Ezra, thoughts?
So it was actually really good. Like I really enjoyed it. Actually, Brittany, who doesn't really care for Marvel, actually sat down and watched it with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I did Batman.
Oh,
DC sucks. What? DC sucks. What?
no.
I'm not saying that.
I'm sorry.
saying that.
I'm sorry.
I personally enjoyed the Christian Bale Batman movies.
Of course, that was some good stuff. That was good, no doubt.
They were
I'm
better
shut up.
paced. They were better paced. That's
They were
for
a
sure.
lot.
But I will say this: I prefer Robert Pattinson's Batman voice to Christian Bale's, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Hands down. Yeah.
Right.
It was much more the character, which was nice.
Right. Going back,
I did like the return to the roots with the detective stuff too. Like people don't realize that. Oh God, Steve, please do yourself a favor. Watch fucking Coraline.
yes,
Great.
it
Not
is a
Caroline, it's
pleasure.
Coraline.
All right, guys, let's
with
get
an
back.
O.
Let's get back to Moonknight.
Anywho, going back to Moonknight. So,
Well,
it sounds fascinating. It reminds me a lot of one of my personal favorites, which is Cloak and Dagger, which is another one of those like kind of obscure sea-level character combos that did get a show. Have you seen Cloak and Dagger the show?
That was a while ago.
That was decent. It was good shit.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I remember having those comics, and they touch on some touchy issues. Where like the first 3 are all about like drug abuse and like sex trafficking, and like there's even like PSAs in it with Spider-Man like telling you if someone's touching you, like tell an adult. Like the 70s were fucked up and weird.
Right.
But it was one of those ones I was so happy to see actually get some light because those characters are awesome and they're solid. So I'm really excited to learn more about Moonknight. The only thing I know so far is from playing the pinball thing in my pinball game.
I know we're gonna go back to Moonknight, but I do want to give Cloak and Dagger a shout out for being the first interracial superhero couple.
Oh wow!
Yes, thank you.
Wow, I did not know
Ding ding ding! I'm here for you, my brother.
So Ezra, continue what you were saying. You were in the middle of talking about Moonknight and your thoughts on it.
I really enjoyed it. There was some aspects of it that I was kind of like, "What the fuck?" Like if you didn't, I didn't watch or read the comic books of it, so I don't know if there was stuff in there that would have helped me understand it a little more. So there's like things in there. I was just like, "What the fuck is going on here? Why the fuck is he in such and such place?" I'm not going to spoil it.
Right. Yeah, and I think that seems to be kind of a trend with some of these Marvel, the Marvel series. Like WandaVision started off very much the same way, where it's kind of like, and
sitcom.
Maybe even Loki, right, where it takes you an episode or two to really kind of figure out,
what is going on.
Right, the first one they just leave you in the dark and just watch. You know what I mean?
The thing about the Marvel movies that I want to throw out there, that if you are a Marvel fan and you read the books, like if you read a lot of the books that they're based off of, it's never always pinpoint 100% accurate to the book, but you get the gist of, oh, they're doing that story. Like even the end game that's based off the Infinity Gauntlet, but that wasn't actually how it went off in the book.
Right.
I
do feel you are a bit high. Can you
I'm
bring
sorry.
your mic down a little bit?
Let me just back up too. Is that better? I'm sorry.
That's a lot better.
I'm sorry. I get all crazy. I get hyped.
You just get excited. That's all.
I'm sorry,
but somebody had made a comment. Yeah, and so let me ask you about that, AJ, as kind of our resident comic book expert for tonight. What do you think about that? Do you think that the movies would be better served if they followed the comic books directly, or do you like that Marvel has done these little change ups for the cinematic universe?
Well, they always
just in general.
I'll say this. They always say the book is better.
Right.
And the book is always better. Like go read Infinity Gauntlet. I got that for after Endgame, read the book.
Right.
WandaVision, and that's all these books, all these movies are based off of the books. So if you read the books, like Moonknight was interesting. It wasn't really accurate to the book, but then when you think about who really is that hung up on that character in the book, so they had more space to wiggle with,
Right.
Because some characters, if you do stories on, you have to be really accurate, or fanboys would be like, "Hey, out of bounds. That's not right. That's not how it is. That's not how it goes down."
Well, even with WandaVision, they were talking about how there were. I mean, like most obviously, it seemed to follow the House of M story series line, but they took off little pieces from other storylines, and so it was actually like there was the one where Vision gets his own family. So they actually took 3 different stories and kind of put them together. And for me, and I don't know, it may be different as a comic book writer. I don't have that perspective, but Kevin Feige, to me, his job is so incredible to keep all of these storylines where it all fits together and you can understand the bigger universe, right? But when they're doing that in the comic books, when Marvel was writing all these comics, it wasn't necessarily the same way, was it?
Okay, so I feel that some comic books are just made so they're turned into a movie. And the books, people aren't really following the books. They're just something thrown together for a script for the movie. So you're asking somebody like, do people care about the books? Maybe that's the real question. Do people really read comic books for comic book movies?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you think about it. Think about how many people go to comic book movies and never read the comic book. So they're like, they don't give two shits about history and fact chasing. No one gives a shit about that. They just want to see explosions and superpowers.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess I could be the same. I'm the perfect example of that. I know nothing about Moonknight, but I turned it on because it's a Marvel show, and Marvel tends to make good movies. I think the same thing happened to me when I saw Ant-Man. Right. Well, I feel like the Marvel movies, they all, most of these characters have real problems. They feel like real people, right? They feel like somebody that could be living next door to you. They just happen to have superpowers. When we're talking about Spider-Man and Scott Lang and Ant-Man, these kind of characters. Whereas the DC characters are all very super, I could never be a super.
They're godlike.
Right.
They're godlike.
Right.
The only exception being Batman, who's a billionaire, and that's his big thing. He's got tons of fucking money. But outside of that, Batman's always had the best villains. He's also been the darkest, grittiest one between all of them. Everybody in the Justice League seems very pantheon of the gods. It's a bunch of Olympians. Whereas Marvel, we have X-Men that kind of do that, but again, Spider-Man has been this hardcore broke ass college student living in Soho for most of his run. He's very, very smart. He's just underutilized, underpaid, and nobody really appreciates him, but he still does his job. They're more relatable characters. Even Tony Stark is hardcore alcoholic. He's the closest thing to Batman, but they don't talk about Batman and substance abuse issues. Which, fun enough, there's a moment in the Batman that I'm like, was that Venom? What the fuck was that? Okay, it touched upon something where I'm like, I don't know if that's a teaser for the future or what. It might be. But so Batman's a great example too of something that's very well known in the public, but every single movie has a different iteration or understanding or interpretation of characters. It doesn't necessarily follow the comic books. The ones that follow the comics are the animated ones that are based off of those graphic novels. And even then, Long Halloween wasn't the same as the Long Halloween book.
I'm going to tell you the problem with the movies is that these movies are getting smart, and the more you expose a superhero on the big screen, you start to see their flaws, and you really start to think about these characters, because DC's characters, they're so godly that when you really sit and think about them, they're out of touch. They're just really all out of. Wonder Woman is probably the most kind of grounded one. And Superman,
she's still a fucking Amazon princess from an island of immortal.
Yeah. You in the Justice League movie, in the Justice League movie, when you see them really at it in real life, all Batman could do when it came to the end was dodge a couple of the lasers from the bad guy and then go buy a house at the end. That was all he could do. He was like, I can't, but I could go buy shit. And he's like, yeah, we kind of knew that. And you got daddy issues. You got parent issues.
But now, on the DC front, I will say, do you feel I feel like the only, Wonder Woman had its own success, Aquaman had its own success, but the more successful ones I feel like nowadays are the ones that are more like Marvel movies. Peacemaker as a series got really high acclaims, and he is definitely the most average, normal, everyday guy of the DC movies, that have been put out. Peacemaker and Suicide Squad, not the original Suicide Squad, but the newer one that James Gunn did.
The Suicide Squad?
The Suicide Squad, right.
Suicide Squad.
I feel like those characters are more grounded to what normal people would be used to, as opposed to, say, The Flash or Batman or Aquaman, those characters.
Look how they did Moon Knight. Moon Knight is, they started off, made sure that this guy is just like a regular guy, like walks the street and everyday problems, sleeping issues and whatnot. Batman, I don't know, like when you think about it, it just doesn't make sense. You got all that money. Why don't you just go make better jobs for the city?
Right.
Like you start thinking about it, like you got all this money. Why don't you?
But this current movie kind of addresses that to some extent.
Yeah.
Where like Batman kind of gets called out to his face about like, oh, everyone focus on Bruce Wayne the orphan. You don't have any idea what it's like to be an actual orphan. Right. You had all that money. You lived in your tower. You had all of these things. Other people who are orphans experience something
like the Riddler,
different. And there's other moments in that movie that they kind of call it out, like the system's broken because of this, or that the money that was supposed to be going towards fixing shit didn't. It went into the pockets of the greedy and those that were going to abuse it.
Right.
So I feel like those things do get touched upon. And certainly with Batman, like it's becoming much more self-aware. Like, yeah, if he would have used all that money to just like fund more programs.
See, that's the thing with Batman.
He was like, I'm going to build me a car and build me a suit. And I'm going to go out and punch people.
Beat people up. Like, that's the thing. The thing with Batman is that all these movies, you enjoy them and whatever, but after you go home and think about all these movies, you put all of it together. And you're like, if you watch all the Batman movies and just like really think, you're like, bro, this man is weird. like
he's fucked up.
He's fucked up for sure. But
he's got some hardcore PTSD. That's why we have to like. At least this is the first fucking movie that didn't have like a flashback to his parents dying. Like I'm tired of seeing that in Batman films.
Yes,
we know.
Right.
We know it still gets mentioned, of course, because it has to. It's a Batman film, but at least we didn't get the flashback of the moment, like seeing someone get shot and watching the pearls fall and. Oh, we gotta have that moment. Like we've been there. We've done that. I've seen it 15 fucking times.
And see, that's the thing with Batman in general. Like, excuse me, I am a working man in America. Like, I don't have money to just spend for the same heroes over and over. Marvel's killing it. Like, I want to go see Morbius. I heard that really sucks, but like. I'm going to go see Morbius, the living vampire movie comes out today. Like.
It did open.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I'm just saying, like, I can't get excited off of another Batman movie. Man, I'll get excited off of a Plastic Man movie.
Hell
Come on, do Plastic Man, please.
Right. Well, I think, I think with the bigger studios, they just, they know that, okay, they know they're going to make money from Batman. They know they're going to make money from Superman. But that's where Marvel has excelled, is they've been taking chances on these other labels. And Marvel, okay, DC is relying on the character and how much you love the character. Marvel is relying on their ability to tell a good story, regardless of the character.
Which is the most important part, is that they need to tell a story.
Right.
I'm stoked to see this new Doctor Strange film.
That looks cool.
Madness.
That looks cool.
That looks significantly good. Yeah. And I'm not a big like Doctor Strange person. I don't know a whole lot about that whole thing, but the fact that Shumagrath showed up, I'm like, oh, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I know that character. Yes, I love him.
Hey, really quickly, Ike up here said superheroes have flaws, but they do it anyways. That's what makes them super. And then I saw another comment. A Facebook user said, no more flashbacks of Uncle Ben dying or the Wayne parents dying every movie. Yeah, thank you very much.
Can we just, brothers, can we just say no more Batman? Could we just get, can I be, like, you have to understand. You have to be, I love comic books too much to be focused on one character. I'm just going to say, like, I love comics in general. And DC is shooting themselves in the foot by rehashing the same shit. when Marvel is taking chances. If you want a new Batman movie, make Batman Beyond.
Batman has.
Can we get a Thank you. Wait. Feel me? Yeah, can we do that?
Beyond.
Thank you. Look, Ezra got excited with that one. Yeah. Right?
Hey, Age, you definitely got to do something about your mic.
I'm sorry, I got hot. I'm sorry, I got.
Can you bring it down though? Like,
I heard that there was a rumor about a Batman Beyond film, and Michael Keaton was gonna play old Bruce Wayne, which I'm totally down for. And
I heard that rumor as well.
Terry it should be fucking Taron Egerton. He would be awesome as the young.
We were going to, and then it got scrapped.
That got scrapped, Ezra?
It got scrapped.
Who?
The Batman Beyond movie got scrapped.
What do you mean?
It's not.
I had heard those rumors as well, but
why? What the fuck is wrong with people? Oh God, whatever.
And on top of that, the DC's got, I want to say, like at least 4 different Batman projects this year. Just this year, Batman, they've got 4 Batman projects coming out. So
connected to this current one?
No. They're all different. There's like a cartoon Batman thing that's coming out. And then there's something with Michael Keaton.
And I got another one. Is this Batman movie guy in the DC universe, or is this an offset from what's going on in the universe?
I mean, they seem to set it up to.
It's an offset. I knew this. It's an offset. I just was asking you guys.
Fine. I feel like Christian Bale isn't in the DCEU or whatever the fuck.
So here it is. They're making a superhero movie that's not in the universe. They're just throwing one together for Batman fans to spend money on.
That's because Batman by himself is a better protagonist, has better villains. We have more knowledge of him. People find that fascinating for a good goddamn reason. Same reason that like the Injustice 2 game, half of the characters are from his fucking universe, and they had to like really pull for some other ones for variety. Because most of the DC universe kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Right. I mean, Marvel's got some solid like rounds with the Avengers, with Spider-Man, with X-Men. DC's got Justice League and Batman as the standalone, because all of the other ones as standalones, again, they're godlike, they're boring. Like,
okay, guys,
I keep bringing up what if.
I'm sorry. By the end of this episode, I'm going to convince you all that DC sucks.
Yeah.
I'm going to come because even in the readers chat, someone wrote in the chat, DC's old and is afraid to grow into new concepts.
Right. Where is that? I thought I saw that.
Yeah. So
they fucked up by doing a Justice League movie at the same time as the Avengers, when the Marvel universe had been like burning to that. Like Marvel took its time, had like 15 movies, and then DC is like, oh, well, we did like 3. Let's do Justice League. It's time. Like, we didn't flesh out Cyborg.
Okay.
We didn't flesh out anybody except for Wonder Woman, except for Batman versus Superman, and even that they fucked up.
Cyborg was supposed to have his own movie also.
Yeah, he should have already by now.
Yeah, he should. Now, let's go ahead and think about it.
For God's sake. Like,
think about it right now. Really. Think about it out to yourself. Did DC really need to drop this Batman movie? Beside, if it wasn't for a cash cow, did they really need to drop another Batman movie right now? That one in particular? Seriously?
I feel like what really happened was that Christopher Nolan gave us this like awesome dark gritty trilogy that got fucked up because the best actor in it all died, which was Heath Ledger for the Joker. And it failed to deliver on its like final note, and it finalized without having like half of his rogues gallery even being mentioned. People are clamoring for more of like the Arkham Asylum, Arkham series, like the video games where we bring in all of these characters. I'm still waiting for a good Poison Ivy to come out because she's my favorite fucking villain.
Right.
And as much as I love Uma Thurman, that was not the film.
Instead of the
Mr. Freeze, because both of those villains deserve better. The animated series did better with them.
Instead of having the 7th version of the Joker, we can get into some of the other characters.
Yeah, which they teased the Joker at the end of this one. I'm like, was that Oscar Isaac? Is that? Because I honestly could not tell you who the actor was.
No, it was the guy in Eternals that plays
Icarus.
Not Icarus. The one that brainwashes everybody, like the whole village.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Ew.
the white guy. I can't even remember.
No,
his name.
that did not even look like him. But that's so bizarre casting choice on their part.
Yeah, I've heard that. I didn't see the DC series, but I guess he plays a pretty decent Joker. But like, do we really need the Joker all the time? Does it always have to be Batman?
No, we really don't. It's kind of like the death of the Waynes. We get it.
Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, Marvel dropped Moon Knight right around DC just dropped their latest Batman movie, and Marvel is showing DC how to do Batman correctly.
Oh,
by doing it as a series and it not being Gotham.
Well, no, by doing Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, like it's Batman-esque, but it's different. It's not the millionaire. It's not his sleep deprivation. It's a whole new angle.
Yeah, I was saying that when Moon Knight first came out, that was the comparisons everybody made. What Edge, as you said, in '75, I think. But that was the comparison everybody made Moon Knight to Batman. And so I personally feel like that was the reason why they made the main character of Moon Knight in the comic books, the main personality is the multimillionaire. But in this one, the character that we open up with, at least, is definitely not a millionaire. We haven't seen a millionaire yet. So I feel like Marvel is trying to really differentiate.
Except for Tony Stark, who's a billionaire, but you know.
Right. See, to me, Tony Stark has always been the Batman of the Marvel universe.
And he is. I mean, for the longest time, I always thought it was Spider-Man, but that's not true because they're so vastly different.
Right. I could say Moon Knight would crush Batman.
Well, I don't know about that, but that's just because Batman's hella smart. I feel like the only reason that Spider-Man has been, in my mind, like the relationship to Batman is because, again, Catwoman and Black Cat are kind of the same character.
Right.
Also, we have a better rogues gallery between the two of them. We can name 10
right, but Peter
Spider-Man villains right now, but like name me like 3 for Doctor Strange, please.
Peter Parker's situation grew completely different than Bruce
No,
Wayne.
No. They are completely different as far as their backgrounds and what they do to make their stuff. But Spider-Man's still a very smart person. It's his instincts and his intelligence that are like his superpower beyond just his super strength and everything else.
Right.
He made his own gadgets. He's made a lot of these other things. Again, it's his villains and his relationships with them that are similar. It's not necessarily their monetary background. Again, Iron Man totally is like Batman, but name me 5 Iron Man villains, please. Because I know the Mandarin, I know Whiplash, and
you know the one from the movies.
Anybody else? I don't know.
Yeah,
that's true. But Iron Man was always kind of a B-level character, anyways. And actually, most of a lot of the Thor was a bigger one. Doctor Strange was bigger in like the 90s and 80s. But like Iron Man was definitely not their A-level character for the Marvel.
Not
roster.
yet.
Not
until they did the Marvel superheroes fucking video game. Suddenly Iron Man's like A-list character all the way.
Right. So with Moon Knight, though, one of the things that Age and I were talking about, and I want to preface this by saying that when Age and I were talking, he hadn't seen the entire Falcon and Winter Soldier series, which I'm definitely recommending you check out, Age, because I think you'd get a lot out of that. But Falcon and Winter Soldier was the first time to me that I really recalled seeing blood in a gory manner on a Disney series, right? The first scene where Captain America's got the bloody shield that he's like beating the guy's head in or whatever, and then they pull it up and there's the blood streaks. That was my first shock. So when we watched Moon Knight, and then there was one of the scenes where there's a lot more blood in this. There's nothing gory. You're not going to get grossed out or anything, but it's definitely bloodier than you would expect for a Disney series.
Go and rewatch Phase 1 of Marvel. There's a lot more there in that.
Yeah. Well, people getting blown up and, you were talking about getting sucked into a turbine. I mean, yeah, that's But that's imagined, right? They don't show the blood coming out with the turbine, do they?
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
They should.
Yeah, there was
I
a
missed that.
huge blood splatter everywhere, dude.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was in the air, so of course it was like dispersed and everything. But it was.
I feel like the
there was
original
blood.
Captain America was very Saving Private Ryan, but like Disney.
Yeah.
Right, and those were movie theater things too. And at that time, Marvel wasn't bought by Disney yet.
No.
So the early movies were not Disney movies yet.
True.
I can't remember when Disney bought. Look that up, Ezra. That's
Well-
one for you. When did between what movies did Disney buy Marvel?
Well, they also bought Fox though.
Right, more recently.
Yeah, but like Fox played a part in a lot of these
2009, December
movies
31st,
as well.
2009.
2009. So between what movies? Because I don't know when the MCU started.
See, right after Iron Man 1, because let's see.
So
Iron Man 2 was a 2010 film, and that was the second movie in the Phase
MCU.
1 franchise.
But Disney owned it by that time.
Yeah,
Yes.
Disney owned it by the time they released Iron Man 2.
Damn. So basically, what was
After
it?
the
Was that-
first movie, Marvel got bought out by Disney.
Wow.
Well, no wonder they took off and did well.
Well, I want to interject because as a black nerd, I'm a serious blurred before the blurred name was created. I want to really recognize that superhero movies are all dope and fun, but like Black Panther just hits different than all these superhero movies. It's not just bam, beat the bad guys up. It hits a little bit different than other superhero movies because it's just based on so much, I don't know,
There's a lot of culture in that too. We were talking about
yeah.
that earlier today. Age had brought that up, and then I also brought up Shang-Chi as being another example.
Mhm.
But I think that has a lot to do. It feels with me with the Disney influence of, for example, when they just did Encanto. They did a lot of research into the culture to make sure that they got the food right, and the animals for the location and the types of plants and trees. So I feel like when it comes to research, Disney is pretty good about that. And obviously that would fall into Marvel as well.
I mean, if you look at Black Panther, if you took all the superhero stuff out of it, it still is an amazing visual experience.
Oh yeah.
With it's really dope. So
Except for that final fight scene, which was just CGI that
yeah,
sucked.
The train scene.
Yeah, that was lame.
Yeah, the train fight scene was terrible. Everything
I
else
like the train
before
fight
that was
scene.
great.
It's alright.
Cool, I liked it.
Yeah, it was two CGI suits fighting in a fucking wind tunnel. And it was bizarre.
When we were watching Moonknight today, Oscar Isaac. So I personally, I'm not a big TV or movie buff or whatever. I watch, some of the bigger stuff. I don't have a lot of time, but I only knew Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron from the Star Wars movies. And I will tell you what, I was so impressed with his acting, his facial emotions. I don't want to give things away, but there's a scene where he's in a restaurant, and when you look at his face, you can tell everything that's going on inside his head. And just as an actor, I was absolutely blown away with his acting.
You know that he was Apocalypse, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the Dark Phoenix X-Men movie that
Right,
came out.
he was that Apocalypse. That Apocalypse was terrible, bro.
Yeah, it was. It
Oh
was.
my god, that was so bad.
And
Oh my
I'm not
god.
trying to discredit him. I think that Oscar Isaacs is a great actor. He's phenomenal. I mean,
But that Apocalypse was terrible. But
Apocalypse
he's a good
was
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, I've seen better. Yeah.
He's
I
kind of
still
like
love him
Ryan
as Sucker
Reynolds
Punch,
in the Wolverine movie when the first time he had Deadpool.
No, Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. Ooh, yikes!
Thank God Deadpool at least commented on that to some extent. I'm so happy for that.
All right.
Deadpool is still probably one of the best Marvel franchises that took a chance and did an R rating and
That's
pushed
Kevin.
the norms. and was meta as fuck, calling it out all right. Oh, it's almost like we don't own the rights to enough other characters to just have more than the two of you.
Ezra, Ezra, what'd you say?
For some reason, Kevin's thing is showing up as Facebook user, but that's Kevin Hogan.
Oh, hey, what's up, Sith Cat? He said we need to see Wakanda Rhino versus Spider-Man versus the Rhino power-up. CGI epicness.
That would be CGI epicness. Jesus Christ.
And they were talking about, you know, with this Moon Knight, I'm very excited. It's only 6 episodes, so again, this first episode really had me going. One thing I really liked that I've heard some complaints about online, and this is, okay, if you haven't seen it, this is going to be a tiny little spoiler. So spoiler alert, don't listen for the next 20 seconds. But they were saying some people didn't like how he blacked out for a lot of the action scenes. I actually loved that part. But from a studio point of view, it makes it a lot cheaper. A lot more cost effective when you don't have to show the big explosions.
Well, I feel like the reason that they did that in general was just to like show that he doesn't know what's going on. Like before he even knew that he was this person, before he knew that he was switching personalities or whatever, it made it seem like, you know, hey, what the hell is happening? There's hella time that's just missing.
Right. Well, and if you noticed, we were talking about this earlier, but when he switched out of Steven into the Mark Scepter, it was always at the highest tense, the highest stressful situation, right? Again, I don't want to give away, you know, too much of things, but in times when he was having the greatest amount of stress, that's when he was starting to black out.
Right.
So
I super dig it.
This character in Shazam, by the way, just curious, because it feels like this is Shazam.
Actually, Shazam knows
Shazam.
what's going on. Shazam knows exactly what's going on when he's, you know, Shazam instead of the kid. Whereas Moon Knight does not know what's going on at all. Like, it's what was that? It was this one show.
Feels like Fight Club. That's what that is.
There was this one show back in like the 80s, 70s ish, where it was like a police show, and there was this one episode where this lady had DID, had no idea that she was blacking out, going out as this other person. Like, this woman was allergic to fur and was getting into a lot of, like, she was a really upstanding citizen, but when she would switch, she was no longer allergic to fur. She was out breaking the law. She ended up committing murder.
Well, right. Well, in Moon Knight, Stephen Grant's personality is the vegan, right? And then you know, his other personality is not a vegan, which they reference in the show as well.
Right.
Did the DID? Yeah. He was actually.
Hello, Belle.
Hey, what is up? Our Disney princess is in the house. Belle Burns, what is going on? A late night for you, Rubik's?
I'm sorry, I'm tired.
You? Are we boring
you?
No,
it's not that. It's not that. It's that I have not been getting adequate sleep, and it's still catching up with me, so...
I'm on about 3 hours.
It's like 10 o'clock, and I'm glad... I'll be up for another 3 hours, for sure. I just haven't had caffeine.
What you got, H?
You want to know something? This is also, I feel like this is Marvel's first attempt for being woke in a comic book series, because you think about it, Moon Knight is coming out right now, and all the conversation in the world of mental health and sleep, taking care of yourself. I mean, there's so much conversation of self-help, health. And Moon Knight is a reflection of, a lot of all these issues.
I think Marvel kind of is doing that in general. Like, there was some of the complaints about Eternals, about like people were saying that it was, they were trying to push agendas and things like that, which I don't necessarily see.
Right. When you mentioned in the Winter Soldier how the conversation of, well, we're the people like a black Captain America.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, right now, understand how many waves, how many years of these superhero movies have we had? Like, these movies are they're not just fighting the bad guys no more. You have to attach it to some type of deep
ideology.
thinking. Yeah,
Current
it's
pop
not
culture thing.
being woke. Yeah. You just got to. It's just for it to hit. So
Black Panther kind of did that.
oh yeah, definitely.
Well, even in when we were talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, they were talking about how that was being filmed at the time of, we were having some of the BLM riots and movements and things like that. There was a lot of discussion about Kaepernick and things like that. And they touch upon that in the series. But people often forget that Captain America as a comic book series has always been one that has kind of touched on the social topics of the time, even back in the 60s. I mean, that was the first comic book cover. His very first comic book cover was him punching out Hitler.
Yeah, when you think about Captain America, he gets his powers from super drugs, super steroids.
Right.
So yeah, America, go America. Get the shot and become a superhero. It's good.
Wow. Right.
And keeping it real, if you didn't know that the first Captain America was black, they had to the serum. They tested it on 99 men. They all died, and on the 100.
They addressed that. They talked.
Yeah.
He's in Falcon and Winter Soldier, the original Captain America, and they addressed that. That's why I was surprised you hadn't seen it, because that's like a big theme of that series.
But see, I read the book, the Truth's book, so
Right.
I know. Yeah, I know the series.
Right. Matt Torres, thank you for tuning in, and definitely Will Smith is and mental health as well.
Hey.
Yeah, there it is. That is the first the episode. So Captain America has always been one as a comic book series and as a stories to touch on social themes that are going on at the time. So I wasn't surprised to see them touch on the BLM movement, but I can't ever see a DC movie doing that.
Because DC won't put the time to flesh out these other characters. Man, please. I'm going to tell you the truth. I have my eyes. If I could write for Marvel, I already know the character. I want to write for Fool Killer.
I have no idea what Fool Killer is.
And that's a character that's super. I'm telling you.
Hey, pull it back.
I'm sorry. I remember when Moonknight wasn't this successful either. So Marvel has a way of grabbing characters. Cloak and Dagger wasn't really super successful. They just grabbed them and made it. Until DC has the cojones to grab a character and say we're going to stick with them and build them up, they're going to keep on rehashing more Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman.
Right. Well, I mean, I absolutely love that James Gunn, after he did the Suicide Squad, that was when he did the spinoff for the Peacemaker. And then they're also giving another character a spinoff.
Vigilante. The Vigilante.
Yeah, Vigilante's dope, dude. I love Vigilante.
Yes, Fool. I love him. I got a lot of Fool Killers. That's my guy.
I've never heard of that character.
He is
so many
Punisher.
fools, so little time.
Yeah, and he's like Punisher on crack.
Oh wow!
Because the Punisher needs to be on crack. Can we just have a good Punisher?
Punish? You know what?
No.
Punisher was amazing until it got until they took the logo off of his chest.
Right.
Because we're getting too woke. We're getting too opinionated. Today was April Fool's Day. Did anybody do any April Fools on anybody?
I didn't realize it till halfway through the day. Dude.
Did you offend anybody? I know I offended people. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you can't even do April Fool jokes no more.
My husband tried to do one on me, and I was just like, wait, what? Huh? What? It's like, oh, okay, April Fool's. I'm like,
everyone is too sensitive now.
All right, what do you want to eat?
You can't do anything like that.
You can't do anything. Yeah.
Right.
You see the conversation? Problem with DC Comics and all?
Hey, Kevin's back.
Yay!
Hi,
Problem with
Kevin.
DC Comics. Superman flies across World War II in one day, punches Hitler, and World War II is over immediately, right?
Okay, but I feel like the big issue between DC and Marvel is that Marvel exists in this world, right? Like Spider-Man lives in New York. Batman lives in Gotham, which is a characterization of New York, but it's not New York. And yet Metropolis is another kind of New York, if not Chicago, but not that, because it's Metropolis. So they
And
don't
then,
live
Jump
in
City.
a world that we live in because their world is like the alternative what Earth is like with all of these
Star
extra
City.
cities and places that don't exist. Marvel picks specific locations, like the X-Men mansion is in again, Spider-Man lives in New York. Venom went to San Francisco. Like that's what makes these characters a bit more relatable, only for the fact that we like, oh, they kind of live in the shadows of this city that I can go to.
Hey, Matt says Guyver is a movie that he wants to see. Guyver, I remember that. I can't remember specifically. What was that?
It was like
costume.
an anime about like a bug suit or something. I forget.
He had a power suit of some sort, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember that storyline. Do you know that one, Age?
There is a Guyver movie.
There is.
Do you know that
I'd
series,
rather watch
Ezra?
One Punch Man. Not gonna lie.
Ezra, do you know that series?
Not really, but I have heard of it.
I heard,
There is-
yeah.
It is with. It does have Mark Hamill in it, so.
Ooh.
It's kind of
Cockknocker.
interesting.
Oh, yep. Matt Soares says Mark Hamill.
So what did you guys think about Watchmen? Because I think Watchmen was probably one of DC's better efforts.
I love Watchmen.
Watchmen is amazing.
Watchmen was hard for me, dude. That was
Are we talking the movie or the comics?
Well, I say both.
well, yeah.
Okay,
I feel like the comics
okay,
is way
do
too
it.
big for the movie.
Not the series. Not the series. I say the movies and the book.
Yeah,
Right.
the movie loses a lot of the whole like side story of the pirate comic that's
watch it.
happening. They fucked up the ending too, of course, which I don't know why. I don't know why you have a source material where the whole thing's like, oh, it's like a random space creature looking thing. Oh no, we're gonna make it a bomb that's attributed to Dr. Manhattan because somehow that makes more sense, but it really doesn't, because the whole idea of what Ozymandias does is like he figures out if we give people a common enemy, like the world can get behind and be like, we have to unite to fight this.
Right.
That's what's going to stop the conflict in the world. Whereas having Dr. Manhattan's bomb energy happening like that, how did that stop the conflict in the world? Like it prolonged that whole weirdness of what's happening in that storyline. But I do love what they do with it. I love that it's an alternate timeline that we have. I love that there's like President Nixon. I like that it has this whole like other take on the Cold War, and then that and on superheroes in general, because clearly the Owl and that one is Batman.
Right.
I don't know who Silk Spectre's supposed to be.
Well,
Comedian. I don't know who he's supposed to be, but they
Now
were
that
so
I-
interesting characters.
Now that I think about it, and actually this is probably a different topic that we should do for a different night, but just to touch on it, has anyone been watching The Boys?
No.
I watch The Boys. I peep The Boys out here and there.
Oh,
It's
you
hype.
know, The Boys, I feel like a lot of that, or some of this, is kind of a direct reflection of The Watchmen, and some of these other cartoon or superhero movies that have been a little more realistic in nature.
Watchmen set the tone for all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Justice Suicide Squad, it feels like it's the newer one is more comedy based. It's not even.
Well, it's James Gunn. It's he did Galaxy, Guardians
But
of the Galaxy.
It feels like it's like off of Doom Patrol's success too, because Doom Patrol's kind of real. It's not super serious either, you know.
Right.
But
Right.
Watchmen did set the tone for that realistic superhero stuff.
Well, and also about how society would deal with them, right? Like in a real world,
Right.
we would have society dealing with it, or the government dealing with it on a bigger level. Like that's even kind of the draw for Suicide Squad, right? Like they've captured all these villains that have these like other powers or other abilities, and well, now we're going to utilize them because what happens if Superman decides to go rogue?
Right.
Not that I feel like the Suicide Squad would be a match for Superman. Like, again, Injustice as a series is a good look at what happens when Superman goes bad.
Right.
I feel like if anyone were to have a chance, I think Peacemaker would have a slim little bit of a chance just to try and fight Superman.
I love the ending of the Peacemaker series where they had the Justice League show up. Fucking assholes, you're late.
Go fuck a fish.
Age, are we losing you over there?
No, I'm here, bro. I'm here. I'm just because I got another conversation, bro. I don't want to say Luke Cage was great representation on Netflix. Power Man was amazing. I'm sorry, I'm gonna back up off of
Blade is still one of my favorites of like before the MCU happened, and again, a great trilogy, great character, great world and story building and everything. And it's weird to think that Guillermo del Toro was like the director on the second one, because he was.
Shout out to the homie Ali, who's being considered to do the new Blade movie. That's my brother's homie, Ali from the movie. I'm forgetting his movie, but the Mashar Ali, who's being considered for the new Blade movie. But yeah.
I'm excited about it.
Hopefully they give Wesley Snipes just like an appearance for them. That would be cool.
They have to.
They have to give him.
They gotta give him a nod.
He was so good in that film.
Yeah.
All of them.
Dude, it's so funny that Wesley Snipes was holding down Marvel before anybody was.
Right. That was technically the first Marvel movie, right?
The first Marvel series.
Trilogy.
Oh, yeah,
trilogy.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's actually what saved Marvel from bankruptcy.
Yeah.
If they played, then they would be bankrupt right now.
Amen.
They wouldn't be having anything that we have now.
Give Wesley Snipes his flowers, bro. Come on. Come on, man. And you know what? I'm sorry. I'm not a hater, but at the end of this conversation, you're going to be like, DC sucks, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no, I still agree with that. That DC, compared to Marvel, has weaker heroes, weaker storylines, weaker overall, because it's not as relatable. It exists in a universe that has its own cities, that has its own people, and they're way too godlike.
So the DC TV is good. The DCEU sucks ass.
Yeah.
DC animation is amazing too.
Yes, DC animation and DC TV,
and most of them are Batman.
Well, no, if you go to DC TV, they have or like the CW, they have the Flash series, the Superwoman, or was it Supergirl, stuff like that, and it actually puts them in like a real world situation where you're actually kind of like, oh shit, they're actually a human being. Well, except for Supergirl, she's a Kryptonian.
Dude, DC, Plastic Man. Why? Because you've already done Plastic Man in the 80s as a cartoon. It worked. With the special effects of today, it would be amazing. It would be funny. Come on, like, I'm so over Bats, man.
I want them to read
somebody
Batman.
Got a comment about that.
I want to see it look amazing.
I don't know who Plastic Man is. I'm sorry.
Neither.
Oh, Plastic Man was bad. That would be a good comedy one, kind of like in the Shazam
yes,
vein.
Come on. He could stretch. Yeah. He could turn into stuff.
So he's Fantastic.
He's kind of like the Mr. Fantastic of the DC, but he started off as a criminal, Eel O'Brien or something like that. There's the comment right there.
Yes.
And then
so he's basically Mr. Elastic on him.
No. He could turn into working objects. Mr. Fantastic just stretches real long. He can actually turn into objects that work. Helicopter, balloon, car, boat.
Right.
And
I recall this now from a Robot Chicken sketch.
Yeah, he's really cool. Just think about Plastic Man in real life. That would be so cool.
Right. I'm all for it. But we did an episode. Do you guys remember? I don't know how long ago, like a month ago, we talked about the DC having a chance not to suck in the next coming years. There he is, right there. I love Plastic Man. Thank you.
He just looks like
he stretches. He's very much Mr. Fantastic. But
is he a male version of Elastigirl?
I mean, is Elastigirl
I guess
not already Mr. Fantastic, but a female?
Well, Elastigirl didn't really turn into things, though.
No, I'm telling you, Plastic Man turns into stuff.
Right. Because Elastigirl, she made like a parachute, but I wouldn't really, that was just stretching herself. I wouldn't say she really turns into things. Whereas,
Plastic
kind
Man,
of like the Wonder Twins, where they actually
turn into stuff. Plastic Man,
There's
Plastic Man
could use a show. Shit, the Wonder Twins.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Donnie and Marie totally
Wonder
missed out on
powers
that moment.
Activate, boom. That'd be so cool.
Shape
But-
of.
Shape
form
up. Come on.
Right, it
Why-
could be a whole thing about global warming.
I'm just remembering the Family Guy episode of the Wonder Twins.
Yes.
Does anyone remember that?
Yes.
Vaguely.
Form
Shape
of
of-
or tampon.
Jada's tampon. Now I just gotta wait for her to get back.
Speaking of Jada, are we getting to our next topic?
Uh-oh.
45 minutes left.
Oh, snaps. You got some video for us, Ezra?
I do. You want to introduce the segment, or?
The last is all distractions so far.
Do you want me? Do you want to introduce it, or shall I just play it?
Let's just play, because I don't think it's going to be anything new to anybody.
Smackdown. Ugh.
That's the theme for the show.
All right.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
Wow, dude. Even just seeing it back again.
So, a lot of people know that Will Smith came out and publicly apologized, saying that should not have happened, that he's completely sorry. He apologized to Chris Rock and to the Academy.
Well, he also resigned from the Academy today, I believe.
Oh,
because
wow.
Chris Rock came out earlier today also saying that he does not accept the apology.
Oh, the tea is hot. Shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was on live on Instagram, was like, I don't accept shit from you.
And I know Jim Carrey supposedly kind of said that he was retiring, and he had a lot to say about this kind of like, Hollywood becoming more trashy, he was saying.
And as the black representation on the podcast, I would like to let you know that the black community is holding court right now for Will and Chris. And there's so much debate on was it right, was it wrong. Is the whole problem his wife? Is Jada the toxic one who's been poking at Will for several years now? This is
he does have like 10 different girlfriends or different boyfriends.
Then there's all this energy for Chris. Where's that energy for the dude your wife was smashing? And here's another one. We all know Will and Chris are good friends, so Will knows Chris has no hands to defend himself. If it was somebody like The Rock who was saying the joke, would Will be so eager to walk up on stage and smack somebody?
Fuck no.
I'm just saying, you have to understand this, guys. Wait. I'm trying to be easy tonight because we've already had like court on multiple podcasts on this shit. But like, yeah, there's some. If Will Smith loses the Grammy or not, that's one thing. But then to lose your respect in the black community, do you throw your whole legacy away?
Right. So that comes down to the big question was like, I guess it really comes down to a morality question. What's up, Will? Thank you for tuning in, my friend. Is that, does it, because I can understand the one side. I'm a Gemini, so I find it easy to see both sides of the situation. But
me too.
On the one side, you're defending your wife, right? But on the other side, you are at a national nationally televised one of the biggest events in your industry, you know you're in the front row and you might get roasted. Now, I think
you also know that you're up for fucking best actor, and there's a good chance you're gonna win.
And you know it took you like 15 years to get to this moment, and now you're here. And you can throw it away over your little. Oh, don't get me started. Yeah, he won. He won.
Okay. Yeah,
but mind you,
that was actually his acceptance speech where he did everything but apologize for his actions.
Well, but then if you watch the acceptance speech, he like the first minute he talked about protecting. He was talking about I got to protect this actress and this actress, but really you could tell his mind was on the moment that obviously what occurred then, and it was kind of like he was speaking about the movie, but he was really speaking about his. Have a good night, Belle. He was really speaking about his
actions at that point without saying it specifically.
All right, and I gotta say, man, Chris Rock is a fucking professional, man. Like, to go and just take that, and then you could tell his brain was calculating the entire time too, dude. I'm on this national, international stage, and whatever comes out of my mouth right now is going to dictate the rest of our careers. You know what I mean?
Yes, and with that statement right there, like. We all have had Will Smith in the highlight for a long time. Like, really, like, we all respected the dude, and he took some losses last night. The other night. He really came down from grace. Like, really? Like, that's going to be how you're going to get your one of the greatest awards? By smacking somebody that night?
And then having a speech about protecting people.
No matter what side you want to be on the whole conversation, because this has been going on for now, like, what, a week?
Right.
It wasn't classy. It wasn't the classy thing to do. Right. What was the joke appropriate? Like, not necessarily. I don't find that to be like the funniest or even the best joke to make. At the same time, what it really sets is the precedent of like, if you really don't like a joke, if you're that offended, it's okay to come up and like assault someone.
Right.
And then the fact that it happened on a live TV stream where literally millions of people are watching, and again, he ended up winning the fucking award to then go up there and use the experience of this family, which is the basis for him to get a script for a film, for him to get an award, and then use that struggle to justify what he just did. Really, are we going to go there? Because I don't think that's okay. And a lot of people already pointed out, Will was laughing at the joke until he saw Jada's fucking face. And this is where it comes into, yes, Jada is a very toxic person. That whole documentary about them and their relationship and their open relationship status, clearly not a healthy relationship, but she's the one that's got him under lock and key.
Wait, hold on. Ezra, what were you saying?
Yeah,
okay.
Who even knew that the Oscars were going on? Like,
right.
Well, that's another point. Until we saw what was happening, it's like, oh, we got turned on now.
Right. The reviews for the Oscars have been dying every single year, and they were saying that this, like, oddly, is probably going to reboost it back up for a little while.
Well, and there is that discussion. Like, was it faked just for the ratings? Because maybe.
It's possible, but I watched. I'm actually really into body analysis and watching people's expressions and micros expressions and stuff. And I watched some YouTube theories on that and stuff. And there was so much in the body language of all the people that you could tell it wasn't fake. Jada, you could tell both Will and Jada, they were laughing at the joke. And then at one moment you could see it's almost like, and you got to think about the situation.
Not laughing.
No, Jada was not laughing.
Jada was not laughing.
She was laughing before. Wait, but if you go back and watch it, she was laughing before, and then it's almost like, it's kind of like, how like you're in a crowded room of people and someone's telling a joke, and you just kind of laugh to be polite. But then it like kicks in, wait a minute, what the fuck did he just say? And then you could literally see her body posture and her whole facial expression changed. And I wonder if Will looked over at that moment, because that's when the camera cuts off. But I wonder if Will looked over and saw his wife.
There's videos
Absolutely. No. This is what happened. Will Smith looked over to his wife, and she gave him that look of like, really, motherfucker? Really? And that's when he realized, oh, shit, I fucked up. I better do something now so I don't keep her pissed off. Because happy wife, happy life, right?
Well,
So that's what spurned that whole moment.
But then also, the black community, just want to put that out there, being the black dude, the black community is also looking at these two like really like, this is what, like, at the end of the day, you're going to have two prestigious black entertainers like fight each other on television, looking like buffoons, setting us back. Like, come on, man! Like, it can't be you two, not you two. Come on.
Hey, okay, wait. First off, I want to ask Age a question, and then Ezra had something to say. We'll go back to Ezra. But Age, would it have been any different if that was two white actors?
Yes.
Well, you know what? Yes, I do. Yeah, because why? I don't feel like, okay, understand this, man. Like, black community, bro, like we really do have a chip on our shoulder when it comes to certain topics. Like, we're so quick to like be like defensive, and I get it. Like, it was Jada looking to her protector to say something, but I feel like in the white community, you go to a comedian show, you get roasted, and it's kind of like you almost expected.
Right.
Like, bro, hold up. True story. I went and seen Artie Lange with my guy. We were in the first row. My homeboy Mike is a white dude. This dude was making so many gay jokes, like me and my guy was having sex, and it was like, and then, you know, he said everything to me but the N-word. And, well, nigga, I could say that. It's good. But I didn't get offended. I mean, I felt like running up on, I was like arm's distance from the dude. I could have ran up on stage, two-pieced him real quick, but I knew I was in the first row of this comedian show, so I know what happens. So for real to run up and sock Chris over Jada, and remember this, guys, Jada has been setting up Will Smith to look like a fool. He's looking like a fuck boy the last 2 years. He's been for all the money Will Smith has, he looks pathetic. He looks like he has no backbone with all the money, and his chick got him fucked up out here. So to defend, if I was Will Smith, I would have said, look, Jada, you're going to sit here and you could be upset with this joke, but you're not going to be here and ruin my night. We'll discuss this joke on the way home or after, but you're not going to.
I did find it interesting. They were sitting at two different tables.
They were?
Yeah. Because they showed the shot of, where they show, Jada and Will in the same shot. They're at two separate tables there.
Well,
I mean,
you know what?
Next to each other.
They were still next to each other, but regardless, man, come on, Jada, Will, have some backbone. That's your night.
Right.
Your chick is out of pocket, bro. Like, I would have just told her, look, bitch, you're about to just smile and like be mad at this joke, and I'm gonna get this award. We'll talk about this shit on the way home.
No matter what, the correct thing to have done was to say something about the next day. And again, it would be a different issue entirely if she was like a cancer patient or someone going through chemo, and that's why she's losing her hair. Alopecia is not like a life-threatening disease. No. This is the first time I've ever fucking heard of her having it.
Right.
So if that's like a public known thing, like, okay, yeah, was it a tasteful joke? No. Should he be making jokes about people like that? No. But it also isn't the worst fucking thing I've heard.
Amen.
Schumer was up there. She was fucking terrible. She ripped off other comedians and shit and everything. So, I mean, like,
But, no. And in black community, your hair, like, it's like your mama joke. You say something about my mama, that's kind of on.
The best yo mama jokes came from fucking Bebe's kids. I don't know what you're talking about.
But even mama jokes, look, even a mama joke, if it's a good mama joke, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to laugh.
Right.
Hey,
really quickly, I want to say, Kevin said Comedy Central used to host roast celebrities TV now and then, even folks like Trump and Captain Kirk.
Yep.
Yeah, you can watch those on Netflix right now as well.
No, this is not a roast, and that's the problem with comedy right now as it is today with these fucking award shows. It's not a roast. You don't get to just go ahead and attack people on. A roast is different because it's an open acknowledgement that you're here to tell hard-hitting, fucked up jokes that are that kind of realm of, oh, wow, they really went there. Like, at the last roast that Pete Davidson was at, so many people fucking hit him hard on the fact that his dad goddamn died. Like, I don't know in what realm that's okay, but, like, clearly it's the only thing they fucking knew about him.
But guys,
fair, this is not the same thing. This is,
no.
Being an award show is not the same thing as a roast.
Yo, okay.
There to get people hitting them hard on personal issues. Make a funny joke about a personal situation, sure, but like again, it wasn't the best joke, and it wasn't even like the crowd reacted all that well.
It's the Grammys, and you made a joke about G.I. Jane.
It's
Part
the
2.
Oscars.
Who gives a shit? Like, I don't even care, bro. Like,
I mean, they're
no one.
higher echelon than the fucking Grammys. That's for goddamn.
What I'm saying is that.
Joke.
But you think about it like this: how many awards or anything? How many people remember anything besides the fight that night? Anything?
Exactly.
Maybe.
And Coda is the best fucking winner, which
gives,
is a great thing.
And what was it? Sam Jackson.
Like what the fuck?
Sam Jackson won his first.
Yes.
Sam Jackson won his first ever Oscar, and that totally got overlooked.
Everything got overlooked because of the fight.
Right.
And again, it was one of those things that didn't need to happen that way. Again, I think Chris Rock, if anything, composed himself the best with the situation, where it's like, holy shit, I just got slapped. I know damn well when Will Smith was walking up, he thought he was going to come up and say something biting and joking to put Chris Rock in his place.
Right.
He wasn't expecting him to throw fucking hands.
Right.
And as soon as that happened, it's like, whoa!
And like I said before,
what was that?
Will Smith throwing hands on Chris Rock is like me throwing hands on my nephew. He knows he can't fight. He knows he's not going to fight.
Hey, you're fucking with Pookie, man. Don't fuck with Pookie. Hey, but I do want to say, like, I am so. First off, I want to give a shout out to James Navarro, Distance Nerding in the house. He was saying it makes me think there might have been on edge with other issues, and that statement just set him off. I want to say I've been so impressed with Chris Rock because there's so much in the body language that you could tell he wanted to do. Like, if you watch right when he gets smacked, Chris Rock puts up his left hand defensively, and you see his right hand go into a clench fist, and then he immediately drops both of them because he realizes I'm on fucking stage and I can't fight, this man right now. And then the other really telling thing he says is, wow, that was the greatest night of television, right?
Yep.
It just happened, but the fact that he's saying it was the greatest night means that he's thinking ahead to how the media is going to play this out on the next day or two on the news. He's already thinking of it in the past tense, and he's already thinking, I better not fuck this up right now.
Yeah. There was that split second moment where, like, that could have been a full blown fucking fight, and I have every right to feel that Chris Rock would have fucked him up.
Oh yeah,
Chris Rock would have been like, "I'm gonna rock your fucking world, bitch."
Don't forget, Will Smith was
I'm
Ali.
gonna be the bigger person.
Man.
Ali,
they did like a size thing. Ali, Will's bigger, 50 pounds bigger. Like, real brother, yo, hold up, come on. You know the thing about it is nobody wants to call the bullshit. Look, if this was like two women who fought and the relationship stems from a bad toxic relationship from a dude, people would be all on it. Like, the relationship, like, Will was prompted to pushed over the edge because of all the disrespect from the last. People think he's a joke. Yeah, you screwed my wife with this kid, made memes of me as a joke. People just think I'm soft. I'm a meme now. And then Chris Rock to say those jokes.
She had an affair on him, a year or two?
Yes, the last 2 years.
And she talked about it.
They aired out their own dirty laundry. In
Yes.
Everybody.
Now, look.
I get that. I don't think that people looked at Will Smith and went like, oh, well, he's just a fucking joke.
Wait. Do the science on that. All right, so at the Red Table Talks, Jada kind of like in his face on screen and let the whole world watch. Like, yeah, you're not screwing me correctly. She like emasculated him, made him look like a joke, and then all the memes. The internet just made it a field day to the point where, yeah, you're a paid man, Will, but are you really screwing your wife, right? Or is your son's friend knocking the boots?
I mean, let's face it, Will, between the two of them, has made more money for every movie, period. He's definitely the breadwinner. Name me the last time
that doesn't mean he's in control.
Got $100 million plus for a fucking movie that she did.
So what you're saying, though, doesn't mean shit if you can't screw your wife correctly and it's publicly getting aired. And right now, I'm telling you,
does he have a small dick? Is that what we're getting out of this?
I don't know, but I just wait, brother,
Jada made Will a simp.
Dude. Yo, Jada, like Steve Jordan says, Jada made Will look like a fucking simp over time. Not in one moment, but the last couple of years, bro. And
so
that
why
Chris,
would you defend her?
Because you know what? Why? Because he's a simp. Wait, bro.
He's a bitch.
Yeah, he's a bitch. Like right now.
Wait. I have to say though,
go ahead.
I want to defend Will Smith a little bit on this because. There is, like, you listen to him talk, and there are people that, marriage is sacred. Marriage, for better or worse. In fact, in one of those interviews, they like high-fived and said, bad marriage for life. You know what I mean? Like, he could be one of these people that believes that, for better or worse, this is my wife, and we are going to, this is what I got. So...
Well, it is the mother of his children. I mean, they have a whole family dynamic there.
Come on, man. In Hollywood, people at this point, separate, get a divorce, give her $1 zillion. He keeps $1 billion zillion, and they're happy. The kids are all grown up. They're reared and got millions of themselves. Bro, they, like, right now.
Beyonce and Jay-Z, shit.
But the thing with Beyonce and Jay-Z and Kanye and Kim, even Kanye's crazy ass, he ain't gonna walk up on no stage and sock nobody. He may say some.
Kanye hasn't, because I would expect that from him.
Man, he will say some sick shit, but he ain't gonna be. Kanye's crazy, but he ain't stupid.
I was gonna say, isn't Kanye the one that said George people doesn't like black people?
Yeah. Mind you, like understand this. Kanye said
he's also said some shit against Pete Davidson recently that's like been threatening and in its own right.
Kanye's always gonna say some wild shit. That's what he does. He's not gonna walk up on stage and sock nobody though. He ain't stupid. He ain't gonna fuck up the brand. He'll say some wild shit, but he's like, "Oh no, I mean, I'm crazy, but I'm like stupid."
Right.
I think for me, like as a queen, like I do a lot of attempts at stand up. I'm not gonna say I'm a stand up comedian. I'm really not. But I have attempts at it, and there are those times where people tell me like, "Oh, that wasn't a good joke," or like that kind of crossed the line, and to some extent, like I've always grown up on the comedy of those kinds of people. Like I'm a very George Carlin person.
Right.
I love Chris Rock back
Joan
in the
Rivers.
day. I love Williams. I love all Joan Rivers. I mean, there's so many people who are very crass comedians that say shit that's so fucked up, but it's funny because it's so fucked up. And it does kind of create that thing of like, where do we cross that line? When is that an issue to where like it's not acceptable? Because at the end of the day, no matter what, we're trying to tell a joke.
You know what?
Joking.
That might be just the time period we're in.
Well, my experience in podcasting, when I podcast, I try to do my comedy and grab my dick and like nigga and like say offensive shit to get people like, whoa. But like, I get it because we're also from a different era too. Like we're older. Like I get it. We're all from a different. But today, Jesus Christ, oh wow, yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I'm the old guy here. But like, dude, today I even put up an April Fool's post on Facebook. On Facebook, I woke up said, "Oh, I'm depressed. I'm not feeling. Life sucks. I quit." And I got so many posts. Bro, hold your head up. Call me, and I put it at the end. I'm like, April Fool's, it was a joke, and I got people who hit me up after like, that wasn't funny. I didn't find the humor. How did I kid you not? Please go to Adrian H. Scott and read my Facebook post. My sister figure was like, I don't find your joke funny. I'm like, God damn, like, fuck. But bro,
you didn't fucking laugh.
yo, but see, I know, and I told my sister, I said, you haven't laughed at my joke since the '80s, so it's nothing new. I'm not even surprised. But
is comedy dead?
Brother,
he killed comedy with social awareness.
Brother, yeah, what'd you say? Yeah, cancel this world today. I'm like this, bro. I'm so happy to be an older man today because it was some good times in the 80s and 90s. The 80s and 90s are gone.
Today's generation
will never know about those times.
Something and make it a joke, and it's like that's funny because yes, I know it's to be true. Like,
and don't fuck around and get canceled right now before you blow up, because you can't get canceled right now. Stop playing.
I've already been canceled. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Today's generation is just so fucking sensitive.
Just because I do speak my mind. Like,
Ezra, what you say, bro?
Today's generation is just so fucking sensitive. Like,
this is your generation, homie.
I know. I'm not part of it. I don't claim this generation.
But we found out you were non-binary last week. What the fuck? You are a part of it.
Yo, I mean, look. You know what? As a student in school, as a teacher in school, I see my young students being expressive, like, hey, respect my sexuality, respect my whatever, and I get it. Like, but is it to a point where it's getting out of control, where everyone's opinion needs to be respected, but everyone's opinion, are they really validated? Is it really like, but you can't say what to respect or not. So, hey, I mean,
opinions are an opinion. It doesn't fucking matter what it is. It doesn't matter if you get offended because, oh, my opinion was this and you said it was this. Just shut the fuck up.
Right.
Honestly, shut the fuck up and move on with your life.
But the difference is, in this day and age, people will put your address online. They'll get fucking thousands of people to send you hate email and all kinds of.
They'll make it so you can't get a fucking job.
Man,
right?
You will get canceled. Yo, brothers, cancel culture is not just your Netflix show. Don't fuck around and not get a job or just be blackballed. Motherfuckers looking at you sideways when you go get some graham crackers at Safeway.
And
that's
that
that guy.
happen like when the 80s and 90s when we were growing up. If you fucked around and you maybe you didn't do good at your job or something like that, or you said the wrong thing, you just go get another job. But that ain't happening nowadays because you got the internet and people following you around. Oh, I saw that viral video of you. Look at all the Karens that got kicked out of their jobs and can't get another job now.
Personally
they deserve that.
I got fired from a job once, and the accusation was racism.
Mm-hmm.
But it was something that was completely taken out of context. And as a result of that accusation alone, I couldn't get the unemployment. And I had a hard time getting another job because it's like, why were you let go from your last one? Well, they accused me of being racist.
Right.
It's so fucked up,
alone automatically makes it seem like I'm the problem. They don't care that it was a manager that came from a previous job of mine that had a personal issue with me because I was gay. He was looking for a reason to fire me, and he used the excuse of racism because he was a person of color and could get away with it.
Yep.
He's still a terrible individual. He still hit on all of the girls that work there. He still ended up getting fired from 3 fucking corporate places for being a shit manager. It still ruined my personality and my life and my career with trying to get another fucking job after that. Because he was able to utilize that for his advantage and fucked me over.
I had a job before as an insurance agent where it was something similar where I got fired. The manager made excuses, but then after the manager had fired me, she had fired 3 people before me and then 3 people after me in a period of like 6 months. And that's when corporate realized, hey, wait a minute, maybe the problem isn't all these agents we let go, but the manager itself. So being fired, I actually had to go to court because I was having trouble getting another job because I couldn't get unemployment because I was terminated. But I had to go to court to fight for a wrongful termination. And even getting the wrongful termination, that still fucked me up because now it says on my record that I went to court, and now like companies are afraid that I'm going to sue them for some reason, but they don't know the circumstances.
Damned if you don't.
Right.
And then
I
like,
should have sued Elfenbar. I should have.
okay, so I respect my trans family, my trans brothers and sisters. I respect the gay community completely, my gay community. What's up? But like, while we're respecting these communities, what about the communities of the individuals who claim to be furries?
We got one online right
Yeah,
now.
okay, now I gotta respect that. Like, hey, and I'm just like, as these groups are coming up, you gotta respect all the people who are identifying as such. So,
But do you have to respect them?
yes, you do.
Okay,
because with my as
let
I
me
talk
ask you
to,
this, H,
okay,
H,
go ahead, please.
We talked about this. I want to say last show or the show before, but what about gross example? But I like to use it because it's the extreme. What about people that want to be, want to be normalized for being what do they call MAPs, minor attracted people? Should we normalize these people? That's
Okay.
dangerous. Thinking.
Well, look, it is dangerous thinking, but you know how all the conversation is going to be. How can you not respect this community when this one is under like almost the same tutelage? It's different, but it's.
I don't, and I actually,
brother, I think
I love you, but that's actually slightly offensive.
brother,
for a long time,
yeah,
gay people have been compared to pedophiles, and
yes,
and that's
yes.
and in fact, most of the pedophiles are not gay.
Well, you know what? As a black person, I would just say, hey, internalize it. Hey, take the nigga out of it and just rock it, because black folk, we've turned nigga into a beautiful thing. So hey, like, I'm just gonna tell you, like, it's ugly out here.
Right? I still can't say it.
I know, yeah, and that, but see, that's that ugliness of this whole world, bro. It's like that's what I'm saying. It's like you gotta respect it, even if you can't say it. I'm saying, but here's the other one. I'm not gay. I'm a straight male, but I super respect my gay brothers and sisters, and I respect my trans.
That's fine. Let me just say on this talking point, since you brought up
that
particular word, which again I'm not willing to say because I'm not allowed to say it. I also don't.
I can say it for you, my nigga.
You can. Again, you can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my issue with the word is not the fact that it's still being said and has a double standard. It's the fact that it's like terrible rhyming logistics for rap these days. And I just feel like that's lazy. I feel like that's lazy.
Yeah.
And then on top of the fact, I can't even use one of those mixes if I want to perform it because of the backlash I'm going to get.
Yeah,
when a person of color wanting to do that song just because I like it.
When that song is playing and you with your people, you're saying, and when the N word comes, you just don't say it. Yeah.
I have a special mix of Lizzo's Juice because there's the versions where she gets to say bitch, but there's also the one that has that, and I had to edit that one word out of the entire thing just so I could perform it.
But Rube, as you mentioned the word bitch, that has a different connotation with dudes, like females saying in a whole nother energy. Well,
I mean, the female dog, but
but
these days don't fucking matter for shit. So.
But females say like bitch. What's up, bitch? And we as guys,
If we called a female,
we can't say that.
Pronoun is fucking bitch. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I can't use that word. I'm not gonna use it. Everyone got those words you can't use. Right. I say nigga too like that though. It's all good, my nigga. It's good.
But kind of again, funny. The context of that is friend, right? Like that. Yeah. That's what the real actual usage of that word is.
Okay. Yes. Now, as a teacher, and I've taught in high school, I've actually told my educated teaching friends who say, well, if a student comes up to you and say, yo, what's up, my nigga, and you get offended, you as a teacher are so out of touch, you should stop teaching because that student just said, you're my friend. Right. And you're holding your English language to something in this literature book when today's bitch is friend, my nigga is my friend. It's all these, and I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying that's where we're at in this world today.
Well, so are you okay with young students that aren't people of color saying that phrase then?
I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna say young kids shouldn't be speaking like that anyway. But mind you, the schools I've taught in are all urban based, and them white, black, Hispanic kids are all hood kids. At the end of the day, they're all hood. So when I deal with that one hood white kid who all he knows is my nigga this and my nigga that, and he's like, "Hey, you're my nigga," I may cringe a little. But I'm going to take it where it came from. I'm like, okay.
The context of the situation, that it's a part of their environment.
Yeah, I got to look at the bigger picture, bro. Like, I'm looking at it as the bigger picture. So I'll cringe a little, but I won't even get really offended. No, I'll be like, thank you,
well, okay,
my nigga.
So on that note, what Van was saying, or Ark, about how like maps have kind of joined into this whole discussion with the LGBTQ community. It's part of what it's disgusting, but it's part of what my thing that's made me a pariah amongst my own community of like, you can't have rules and terminology that are so loosely based off of, well, I feel this way, and just because society doesn't accept it means that it's their problem and onus, and we need to now accept it. I don't find anything about minor attracted people to be acceptable. I don't think it's the same as being gay in the slightest. I feel that it's horrendous that they are doing this thing. And at the same time, I look back at like 6 years ago and look at my community and go, so all the shit that you were hating me on, where I said, this is going to be a slippery slope. This is opening a can of worms that's going to allow these people to now jump in on our bandwagon. Now I'm sitting there going, oh, tell me I was wrong now. Tell me I was
You're
wrong.
Absolutely right.
Now.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
I saw this coming 6 years ago. You cannot use this kind of dialogue. It's not just because I feel so is not an acceptable answer. It's just not. And we have to come to a point where people can discuss like, hey, there's a right and a wrong, and this is how we're going to define what right and wrong is. And in my book, you can go ahead and tell me if I'm wrong, if that's the case. But what the big difference between right and wrong is if you take advantage of someone or hurt someone against their will, then it's wrong.
See, at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can have all your whatever categories you want to call yourself, but if you do something illegal and hurt somebody, you should pay for it. At the end of the day, right? Like, whatever you want to call yourself, and
there's
whatever you.
Wrong with people of the same sex who've been in a relationship for a decade and a half. They want that's a relationship. That's fine. It's completely different when you say, well, I'm only attracted to people who are the age of 10. Like that's an issue because those are people that you're now preying upon. They don't have the ability to consent. They don't have the ability to condone. And there is nothing that's acceptable or okay about that. And we shouldn't be allowing people the ability to justify that and be like, well, it's the same thing as this community, right?
And
That's
yo,
how I feel.
I don't want people to
society doesn't like it, so it's their problem. It's not mine.
I don't want people to get my words misconstrued. Like, at the end of the day, as long as you're not hurting nobody, you could do exactly what you want. But if you hurt somebody, you got to pay.
But do you think your words, even if you don't do anything right, if I just talk about what I feel or what I like, somebody else may. We talked about that we talked about this before. We talked about how there was that Pizzagate where they were saying that they had a pedophile ring running out of a pizza parlor, and then some guy went down with a machine gun and shot up the pizza parlor. I mean, even though your words, you may not be having any actions for it, your words can be taken by somebody else and they may act upon it.
Yeah.
But it's scary times. I mean, gun violence is still a huge hot topic issue in its own right. And I mean, the sad truth is it's probably easier for me to get a gun today than it is for me to get like my driver's license renewed.
And racial stuff is still hot, and Black Lives may not matter or not, or whatever you feel about the movement, but we're still getting killed in the police. Martin Luther King's dream. I mean, we just had Black History Month, and was King's dream fulfilled, or are we still like living a nightmare after he passed away? Like, what I'm saying is,
slavery never ended, but that's a whole different
show. No, you're absolutely right. But as you mentioned, it's so many topics going on in this world. Do we really need to get hung up on words?
Right.
All right. We're gonna leave
Go
this
first.
here because we're coming close to the end of the show. We have about 5 minutes left.
This has been dope, though. This has been dope.
Yes.
And we do this every week. We have a different topic every week, but the whole point of the show, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in, Steve, Red Wolf. Hey, really quickly too, I want to say for Kevin and Red Wolf who just popped in, and Matt Torres, I think came in later too. If any of the three of them or James Navarro, I'm trying to see if anybody popped in after the beginning of the show.
Kevin's been here since the beginning.
And Kevin has, okay, William I don't think has. But if you guys can guess who Anthony is dressed up as tonight, if you were here at the beginning of the show and you had your opportunity, sorry you're not in it. But if you popped in, say midway show or after, if you can guess, the first person to guess who Anthony is dressed up as gets a pair of lightsaber chopsticks.
You have the next 5 minutes.
I didn't even choose
5
the
minutes.
most
You got 5
obscure
minutes.
reference possible either. I almost did somebody else. Nobody would have known.
All right. Ezra, did you want to, or were we going into the last thoughts? Were we going into the last segment?
Last thoughts.
Before we do, can I say, and I want to thank Steve Jordan for making it a comment at the top earlier. Please do not forget, check out kybercave.com. Before we are a webcast show, first and foremost, we are Saber companies. And May 4th is coming up. You got about a month away. You still got plenty of time to get yourself a Saber and be prepared for May 4th. We got a lot of great deals on our website, plus all kinds of extra Saber merchandise on there. So please check out our website at kybercave.com. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube or Twitch plays, please do so.
Yes.
All right, Ezra, go ahead. Sorry.
Kevin got it, by the way.
Hey, Kevin.
Good shit, Kevin. Hey, good shit.
Will
right,
was
other
close,
mother.
but he said Caroline, and it's Coraline.
It's from
It's
Coraline,
It's not Caroline.
but it's not
Sweet Caroline.
That's dope.
All right, Kevin, I owe you a pair of Saber chopsticks. You know where we're at. Gotta get a new
Go to the
Saber.
website, buy some sabers.
I know Ike is a prolific Saber buyer. All right, last thoughts. Where do we want to start?
Let's go with Age.
Hey everybody, thank you for having me tonight. My name is Adrian H. Scott. Please follow me on Facebook, Adrian H. Scott. I just released and Duck Soup, DUKKSOOP, DUKKSOOP. That's our podcast. And I'm also part of a musical group, Ugly Underground Living Young. And we just put our project out called The Yellow Tape. It's on the beats, and my homegirl is singing. It's really cool. So, Ugly, The Yellow Tape. Check it out, please.
All right. Last thoughts about tonight's show?
Oh, tonight's show was amazing. Thank you. It was dope. I love Moonknight. Thank you all for the conversation. This is dope, bro. Thank you for having me. Seriously.
Oh yeah, you are welcome on. We do, like I said, we do this every Friday night, different topics.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to just being down with you guys all the time.
Woo-hoo. Age Scott, y'all. All right, Rubik's, what you got for us?
So if anything, again, if you don't already follow me on Facebook. It's Rubik's Q Arcana. I had my Facebook hacked recently. I had to change a whole goddamn profile. Whatever. You could also find me on Instagram, Rubik's _Q, the letter _Arcana, ARCANA. Come check me out every Wednesday night at Blend Ultra Lounge. We will not be there this current week, though. We were off this last week and this current week coming up because they are remodeling. So I have a break until April 13th. So we will be back April 13th. Other than that, I stand by what I said earlier just now about the way I define right and wrong is if you hurt or abuse someone against their will, it is wrong. So in the circumstances of what we were talking about with the Oscars, going up and slapping a comedian because of a joke you didn't like is not okay. It's not okay at all. At the same time, like, should we be more mindful of jokes? Yes, but there's a certain line where we have to also realize that most comedy comes from a place of misfortune and pain, and like calling that out. Again, us in the 80s and 90s have totally grown up on that. Outside of that, I just want people to kind of take a moment to reflect on their own situations. given the current state of the world with the war going on in Ukraine, with all these other social issues going on, that if you are in a household, if you have hot running water, if you have access to electricity, if you have a phone that has cell phone and Wi-Fi reception, if you have the ability to say to yourself, what do I want to eat today? Please take those as blessings. Please understand just how fortunate you are, because I think in hindsight, a lot of people lose that scope or that reflection of just what a privilege we live in currently today, whether that's part of the talking points or not.
Right.
So I would say take that grain of salt with you. It might take a fistful. I don't fucking know. Again, hey Rubik's, shut the fuck up. And for those of you who didn't know right now, I'm the other mother from Coraline, and if you haven't seen that movie already, do yourself a fucking favor. Watch it right now.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yes.
So good. I love my creepy, kooky kid shit. Go figure.
Hey, we're gonna get ready to go to Ezra really quickly. Kevin Hogan says, FYI, VacaCon tomorrow in Vacaville and OhanaCon on Sunday. Yes, if you are in the area, make sure to check those out.
I'm not.
Kevin, of course, does our California Comic-Con adventures report on Saber Rattle every week. Don't look at me like that, motherfucker. All right, what do you got, Ezra? Ezra, go.
Go check out the website. It's shuffling along. It'll be right over here, right here. It's right here.
Yay!
Go there. We have saber chopsticks, keychains, T-shirts. We have pocket knives, the little like Swiss Army knives.
Lightsabers.
Lightsabers. If anything says out of stock, that will be changed tonight, so don't worry about that. And check it tomorrow if you don't see the saber you want.
And we have a brand new saber that we're going to be premiering in the next couple of days. The Relic Hunter.
Yes.
Ooh. Might be the one I buy.
Fancy. Fancy.
We should show that maybe Sunday night. All right. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I always love having all of the people in the comments. You guys are what make this show, and you are the reason we do the show. If you are free Sunday night, that is our Saber Rattle show. This weekend, I believe, is our 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah, that is crazy, dude. We've been doing that show for 2 years. I think we've missed less than 10 shows in 2 years.
Well, Monday will be our 2-year anniversary, but it's going to be the day before.
Right. I'm excited about this show. It is a bit of a different show for us, but we have a very famous person. We have Mark Kelly Smith, the inventor of slam poetry, will be on our show. I used to be a spoken word poet back in the day. That's actually where I know Age from. And so I love slam poetry. So to get to talk to the guy who invented the art form.
Thank you, Steve.
Absolutely amazing. If I wouldn't say, we just give it. Oh, thank you. Thank
you,
Steve.
Yo, go real quick. Do you mind if I just pump this up? I have this Moonknight #1. Moonknight #1, mint condition. And I'm selling it because I want to get my car fixed. So I have this mint condition Moonknight from 1980s. Some shit like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Moonknight #1. Mint condition.
I got to see that earlier today. It's so cool. It's like holding history in your hands.
Yeah. So anybody wants it, holla at your boy. Holla at go. It's good.
Yeah. Hey, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We will see you Sunday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time, or back here next Friday. And the drawing's off for this week. So it started at the beginning of the show. So all right. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye, everyone.